My name is Josephat Kirui, Member of County Assembly representing Singarwet, and also the Chair of the Committee on County Petitions. I want to invite the members of this committee to make their introduction, and other members of this County Assembly present as we begin. Welcome, members.
Thank you, Chair. I'm Nathan Kibet, MCA representing Kapletunda Ward, and a member to this committee. Thank you.
Asante sana bana mwenyekiti, mimi naitwa Peter Rono, mimi ni MCA wa Kipsomai na mimi ni mwanachama wa kamati hii ya upekuzi.
Thank you, Chair. I'm Jaffa Chiriot, MC representing a member's ward and a member of the committee. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. My name is Evelyn Mibay, friend to the committee.
Thank you, Chair. My name is Chepkiri Felody, a friend to the committee.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Chair. My name is Roslyn Chepto, MCA representing Longena Manaret Ward and a friend of the committee.
I also want to recognize the presence of the members of the Secretariat, led by the committee clerk. Please introduce yourself.
Okay, thank you, Honorable Chair. My name is Kitur Calvin, the head of the Secretariat.
Thank you, Chair. My name is Veronica Waweru, Legal Counsel.
Thank you, Chair. I'm Abigail Kimutai, a pupil at the Legal Department.
Thank you, Chair. Weston Koech, member of the Secretariat. Thank you.
Thank you. We have also other members present, the Sergeant at Arms. Yeah. I want to give the Council to introduce yourself so that we proceed.
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson. Honorable Chairperson, my name is Desmond Letei Pasile, an advocate of the High Court of Kenya, and today I'm appearing before this honorable committee to represent His Excellency Professor Hilary Barchok, Governor Bomet County.
Well, members and the Council, as you are aware, we are processing the petition number 1 of 2025 for the impeachment of His Excellency Governor Professor Hilary Barchok, the Governor of Bomet County. This committee, we received a petition, or this petition, on 10th of February 2025 by the petition done by Father Ambrose Kimutai Tonui. This petition is seeking the impeachment of Governor Barchok on the following grounds: violation of constitutional principles of leadership and integrity, theft of public funds and abuse of office, breach of oath of office. It's also important to note that we invited the petitioner to appear before this committee on the Tuesday, 11th March of 2025 at this same sitting, and maybe also to highlight some practice. It is important to note that we give an equal chance to the respondent to give the submissions based on the evidences that were submitted by the petitioner. So, Counsel, this is your opportunity to respond on behalf of the respondent, that is Professor Hilary Parchok, and you will later on table any submission that you have before this committee. So kindly confirm that you received the invite and all that.
Honorable Chairperson, His Excellency the Governor received an invite dated the 26th March 2025, inviting him before this Honorable Committee, where he duly instructed Counsel to appear on his behalf, pursuant to this committee's direction that he will either choose to appear by himself or to be represented. Chairperson, on the 8th April 2025, I did write a letter to the Speaker in response to his letter that was addressed to the Governor, indicating my appointment by the Honorable Governor to appear before this committee. In those circumstances, Honorable Chair, indeed the Honorable Governor received the petition that is in question today. The same was accompanied by a bundle of documents which we have gone through, and we are ready to proceed and respond to them accordingly.
Well, good enough. You can proceed and respond.
Yes, Honorable Chair, His Excellency Professor Hilary Parchok, the Governor of Bomet, has made a detailed response to this petition. There is a written response as well as the oral response and submissions that we are shortly going to give. We are cognizant of the fact that this is a process that is emanated by a private citizen. We have a response which is in twofold. With us is a notice of preliminary objection that is being raised against the proceedings of this session. With the kind permission, Honorable Chair, let me expound on the preliminary objection. It is His Excellency the Governor's objection that this petition before this Honorable House offends the mandatory provisions of Article 181 as read as Section 33 of the County Government Act. We do refer to the Constitution when we refer to articles. It is the Governor's contention that for our proceedings of this nature, they are laid down provisions under Article 181 that provide for the removal of the Governor, and as such, a public petition such as the one that has been presented before this Honorable House fails to meet those mandatory requirements. To buttress on that, we also rely on the standing orders of this Honorable House, that is Standing Order number 70, which this House enacted to provide for the procedure of removal. It is the Honorable Governor's submissions that a petition by a private individual cannot be one of the process that is initiated for a removal of a governor from office. This petition has been brought pursuant to the Standing Orders 205, and nowhere in those standing orders provide for the removal of a governor. It is our humble submission that this petition before you does not see the light of day in law, as it has been brought without following the laid down procedures. The second limb of our objection is premised that this petition is an abuse of the process of this House. To support that, I will quickly refer this Honorable House to the prayers being sought in this petition. We submit in the onset that these prayers are not available to this petitioner. The petitioner seeks, among other prayers, that this House initiate impeachment proceedings against the Honorable Governor. It also seeks to summon EACC, that is the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, to present evidence before this Assembly. We do presume that the said evidence is what the petitioner wants to rely, and further, it goes to seek suspension of the governor. In the upshot, and without taking much time, we submit that these prayers are not available to the petitioner as they are misconceived. As we will enumerate later, EACC is an independent institution that enjoys the status of the Chapter 15 institutions, and as such, this House is bereft of any powers to summon the EACC. As regards suspension of the governor, the petitioner fails to appreciate the import of Section 33, which he cites in his prayers. In that Section 33, Mr. Chairman, Honorable Chairman, even when proceedings of this nature or proceedings of an impeachment which are lawfully brought before this House are conducted, there is no provision in law for suspension of a county governor. In fact, the said Section 33 has been in express terms provides that the governor shall continue to exercise the functions of that office even when any proceedings, and this we are assuming that any proceeding that have been brought within the confines of Section 33 and Article 181 and the relevant standing orders. So as it stands, Honorable Chair, we will proceed to disabuse the allegations, but for the record, we would want and invite this Honorable House to make a finding, not just for the benefit of the governor, but for the benefit of posterity of this House, whether a private individual that can sustain the removal of a governor take the view that the drafters of both were they to have an import, and I will refer this House to the process of removal of the president. Were the drafters of the County Government Act alive to the fact that a private individual will have the capability of bringing this motion, then it will have been expressly provided within the confines of the County Government Act and the standing orders. And not to buttress so much on this point, the mischief in allowing this kind of petition to be brought will be, it will take the powers that have been donated by the citizens to the honorable members to be their representatives and to make an oversight function to this House, to everyone. And as such, those rights which the citizen enjoy, we do submit are not absolute, and as such, these provisions within the County Government Act, the Constitution, and specifically your standing orders have put a limitations. And we invite this House to note that these rights are part of the rights which are derogable, are parts of the rights which can be limited as per the law. So in our final submissions on the issue of the preliminary objection, we will humbly invite this court to find that a private citizen does not have the powers or does not have the opportunity to present any petition for a removal of a county governor. Be as that may be, we will proceed to respond to the allegations. As I indicated, Honorable Chairman, we have provided a detail which we will file once we are completed. Honorable Chair, the petitioner has raised serious allegations on the part of His Excellency Governor Hilary Barchok. In his petition, he has relied heavily on one ground, that is ground number 1, which the governor was asked to address, and that is the ground on violation of constitutional principles of leadership and integrity. Honorable Chair, the petitioner, in trying or in his desperate attempt to lay basis on this ground, has made reference in page 3 of the grounds of the petition, has made reference to a press release, a public release by the EACC. Honorable Chairman, before responding to the substantive allegations in the said petition, it's important that this House recognize and upholds the constitutional mandate and institutional autonomy of the EACC as established under Article 79 as read together with Article 249. It is the governor's submission that he is neither expected nor permitted to comment substantively on the matter that is subject of investigation by the Commission. He reiterates that this is not a matter of legal principle only, but also a demonstration of difference to the constitutional framework. And as such, the answers and the replies we will be providing before this honorable committee does not and cannot seek to prejudice or anticipate any outcome of any investigation before the EACC. We will proceed to respond to the ground 1 on the violation of principles of leadership. Mr. Chairman, the petitioner has alleged that the governor has violated constitutional principles and leadership and integrity. He has cited 2 articles, that is Article 75 of the Constitution and further Section 12 of the Leadership and Integrity Act. As we had indicated earlier, the petitioner has heavily relied on a press release. Mr. Chairman, it is our humble submissions that this release that has been tabled before this honorable House cannot and should not be used to impute guilt upon the Honorable Governor. Going by the dictates of the Constitution, the Honorable Governor enjoys equality before the law. And as such, he, like anybody else, enjoys freedoms and rights under this Constitution that the petitioner also wishes to enjoy. Part of the rights that the governor enjoys are codified under Article 52 of our Constitution. You may ask whether that article references to such proceedings. The courts have interpreted that the right to be presumed innocent until contrary is proven does not only lie in criminal proceedings, but in any allegations that can touch into the fundamental rights of an individual. We therefore submit that this press release that the petitioner has immensely tried to base his allegations are neither here nor there. It is a matter of constitutional rights and freedoms that the governor has envisaged in the Constitution and not rely, Honorable Chair, also on the issue of gross violation. The petitioner has sought to impute improper motive upon the Honorable Governor. One of the allegations is that His Excellency Professor Hilary Barchok personally authorized payments to contractors who are senior county employees. This can be found at page 3 and 4 of his petition. It is our submission that these allegations are not only factually inaccurate, but legally unfounded. We will demonstrate as follows. Mr. Chairman, this House has in the past dealt with issues to deal with the finance before the county executive. We submit that the governor does not in any way have access to any financial procedures in law. To begin with, the governor does not have powers completely to authorize any payments. We'll invite this Honorable House to be guided by the provisions of the Public Finance Management Act and the County Government Act. Specifically, we'll be referring to Section 148 of the Public Finance Management Act, which requires that every county government, including Bomet County, to designate an accounting officer for each county department. We therefore submit that the governor is not an accounting officer in any of the departments within the county government. Further, the section provides for the responsibility of those officers in the county government that have been designated as accounting officers. We will further refer this honorable committee to Section 103 of the County Government Act, to be read together with Section 104 of the Public Finance Management Act, which places the responsibility of every financial operations on the county treasury. This is clearly evident that the governor is not a member of the county treasury, and also has never been or can never be designated to be an accounting officer. And thus, it is our humble submissions that such an allegation that the governor can authorize any payment is both factually and legally unfounded. On the same issue of authorization of funds, the petitioner desperately leaned on the Article or Section 12(1) of the Leadership and Integrity Act. We will demonstrate that the conflict of interest that the petitioner wants to advance as against the governor has not yet whatsoever been proved, as the petitioner has failed not only to identify a specific or any personal interest held by the governor in any transaction that he claims or has tendered in this bundle of documents to allege that the governor has held any interest. He has also failed to make a connection between the exercise of the governor's duty and the interest derived. And as such, all these allegations that are born in this petition are mere allegations, and none of them has been substantiated. Mr. Chair, for one to impute conflict of interest, it is right that they should demonstrate that there is interest that the governor has derived during his exercise of official actions. Even the least, a failure to disclose that. The petitioner has failed to substantiate whether the Honorable Governor, in exercise of his duties under the law, has derived any benefit whatsoever, or the very bare minimum, Mr. Chair, that the Honorable Governor came into contact or came close to having a conflict of interest but did not declare or disclose. We will swiftly move to the other ground, that is theft of public funds and abuse of office. Here again, we find that the petitioner has based his allegations on unsubstantiated newspaper articles, press releases. Mr. Chair, an allegation of theft of public funds is a very serious allegation. And this Honorable House should be very, very careful not to entertain innuendos. We will like to refer this Honorable Committee to the provisions of the Public Procurement and Disposal Act and the Public Finance Management Act. The petitioner has not disclosed how he came to the arrival that His Excellency the Governor has been involved in the allegations as he has enumerated. Further, we still reiterate that any allegations which have not been substantiated should be disregarded. Mr. Chair, we move to the allegations of breach of oath of office. Once again, the petitioner has failed to disclose to this Honorable Committee how and when the Governor breached his oath. As we summarize, there are some issues that have arisen in this petition which we will request to delve in. One of it is the kind of evidence or the evidentiary threshold that the petitioner has sought to rely. Mr. Chair, we have been treated too much, for a lack of better word, a circus. The Honorable Governor watched in dismay when the petitioner tabled newspaper cuttings which were not labeled, they were not identifiable, they cannot be proven. The petitioner also proceeded to table documents which are from this Honorable House. A point in question is a statement from an honorable member. We'll be referring to evidence number 9. The petitioner also tabled reports by independent institutions and committees of this Honorable House. It is our humble submissions that on reports of independent institutions such as the Auditor General and also reports of this Honorable House, there exist mechanisms for implementations of those reports. The petitioner has failed to demonstrate that he has been frustrated in seeking the implementation of those reports. And as such, we submit that those reports cannot form basis of a removal of a governor when clearly they do not point out to any wrongdoing. Another issue that arose was on access to information. In tabling these documents, the petitioner sought to inform this Honorable House that he had written to the County Secretary to inquire or to make a formal request for documents. It is the Governor's submission that his office is committed to upholding the principles of participation within the county government and at no time has he received relevant information. We also invite this communication by a public officer. The same cannot be imputed upon the principle of guilty by association. And as such, willfully or without knowledge impeded to access any information. Mr. Chairman, in summary, the Governor's submissions are that the petition before you, not only is it bad in law, but also want in substance, to mean all that the petitioner has sought to table before this honorable House, you will excuse me, I've been used to court, honorable House, are just but mere allegations. But let's be clear that allegations are not evidence. Investigations are not verdicts. And before this House, we implore the honorable members to make a finding and separate any fact from fiction. With those few remarks, I'll be available for any clarifications.
Thank you, Counsel, for your submissions. I want to invite the members of the committees, if any, who will want to seek any clarification from the presentation by the Council. So members, this is your time. Yes.
I've listened to the Counsel, and I would want to bring to his attention the dictates of Article 195 of the Constitution of Kenya that gives power to the County Assembly Committee to summon witnesses. And in this case, I'll be very particular to subsection 1 of the article, that a county assembly or any of its committees has power to summon any person, and I want you to underline the word person, mortal or immortal. So when you say that we do not have the impetus to summon EACC, I think the element of person, we have the powers to ask them to give us evidence, but in this case, I've closed that one. I would really want to make another statement. You said that your client, the allegations by the petitioner against your clients are unfounded, and you've gone ahead to demystify why it is unfounded. And in your own opinion, this committee, or it is your prayers that this committee should stop the petition in this stage. I would really want to make it clear that this committee has a mandate. Kwa Swahili wanasema kamati hii linachukua malalamishi ya umma na kuangalia kama maombi yao ama ombi lao linaweza kushughulikiwa. Na wewe kuja hapa ni kuweza kutupatia taswira kama kweli yaliyosemwa na mlalamishi yana ukweli kulingana na wewe ama ni allegations vile umesema. So we have taken it, we've listened to you, we will go through your submissions and be able to make a conclusion. Whether we will drop it at this point or we will take the prayer of the petitioner that we begin the impeachment proceedings. And it was fair for your client to either appear and defend himself or either way. So I must laud him for making time to clear himself before this committee. We will consider your submission and be able to make a conclusion. Thank you, Honorable Chair. It has been an informative session. He said that no one should be proved guilty by association. It's called the principle of guilt by association. I thought they said when you stay with a witch, you also become a witch. Which one is which?
Thank you, Honorable Member from Gibsonai. Honorable Nathan.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. What I wanted to say is that I want to assure the legal representative of the governor that this committee will be fair, both to you, to your client, and also to the petitioner. So we are an independent committee and we will not take sides. So we look at the evidence that were provided by the petitioner, and we will also look at your submissions, and then we will advise the House accordingly. If we find out that evidence to support the impeachment of the governor, we will advise the House to proceed with the impeachment. But if the evidence are not enough again, we will also advise the House accordingly. This committee has powers, as my colleague has said, to seek evidence from anywhere, even including the SEC. But we will reach, when we look at the evidence that have been provided for so far, and then we will see the next step that we will take. But we appreciate your coming, and the information that you have given us will also guide us on the way forward. Thank you very much, Honorable Chair.
Well, thank you, Honorable Member. At this point, I want to make very few closing remarks. Honorable members of the committee and the council, representing the governor, we have reached the conclusion of the oral submission concerning this petition. And the council, we have carefully listened to your submission and also previously the submissions made by the petitioner. This committee wishes to thank you for your decorum and commitment to uphold the process, the constitutional process. As a committee, our mandate is very clear, as stated initially by one of the members, to remain impartial, objective, and guided by the Constitution, the law, and also the evidence before us. These proceedings are not just about the individual named in the petition, but also about the integrity of the office and the trust bestowed upon us as a committee. I would want to assure you as the representative of the governor and also the petitioner that our recommendations will be guided by the rule of law and the principles of justice. We will uphold the right to a fair hearing and ensure that our process remains transparent and credible. Finally, on behalf of this committee, I thank everyone who has contributed to these proceedings, and we now move into the deliberation phase, and we shall communicate the outcome of this process within the timelines prescribed. So I thank you, and this session stands adjourned. To the committee, our next meeting shall be communicated in due course. Importantly, thank you, Counsel, for that. I'm reminded that you're supposed to table all the documents that you have for our processing. Welcome.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. We will start with a letter dated 8th April 2025 confirming attendance to today's proceedings.
Kindly the sergeant at arms to assist.
We will proceed to letter or notice of preliminary objection dated 9th April 2025. Letter dated 9th April 2025 being response to petition, and subsequently attached thereat response by Honorable Professor Hilary Belchok to petition number 1 of 2025. That is all, Mr. Chair.
Please, if you also have a soft copy, you liaise with the Secretariat and supply a soft copy. Thank you. So, as stated earlier, the session stands adjourned up until we meet as a committee for further deliberation. Thank you.